Okay, we are live. As you can see, I'm not alone. I have Violet here with me, and I didn't even check the background for this. It's so strange going live because it just pops up and you're ready and you're you're ready to go. So, we'll take a couple minutes of me just kind of chatting here before we get started and what we're talking about today. But excuse any mess behind me because I this is my guest room that I'm using, and I hope you can hear me okay. It looks like it's on, so happy about that. But this is the guest room, and I don't know about you, but our guest room gets messy like overnight. And I don't know how. It's usually just me. I like to say that my kids, make a mess, and they do, and we all make a mess, right? But I feel like they get it from me because I'm one of the messy people in the house, and I've always been like that. Um, my name is Stephanie, and my dad used to call me Messy Steffi. And he also said that I was like a bird because he would say, everywhere she sits, she blank rhymes with sits or sounds like that. So anyway, we're going to get started here today because I have a couple of things that I'm revealing in this video. Some things I'm working on that really does affect you as my community here on the Busy Dreamer channel. And I'm kicking off a 30-day Go for Your Goals challenge. And it's going to start tomorrow, I think. I want to kind of get some of my shorts and my videos lined out before I like officially start because I'm doing this challenge right along with you, and I want to make sure that I'm setting myself up for success for this. So we're going to start that tomorrow. And as you'll see, so I have Violet right over here, and I'm so afraid that she's going to get on the screen or on the keyboard and do something and click on it. But so I'm doing this challenge right along with you, and I hope you can't hear the traffic going on outside. We never used to have traffic out here, and they punched the street through. That was right next to us, so we can't really hear it unless we have a window open on this side of the house. Which, since this is the guest room, that doesn't happen very often. But anyway, so back to the challenge. We're picking a goal and we're sticking with this for 30 days. And it's not like if you don't do it, you fail or anything like that. But I'm trying to encourage people to pick something that they can see progress in so it's measurable. And that's so important. I know that there's the SMART goals, and I really think the measurable thing is one of the most important things because you can see, if you see your progress, it's motivating and encouraging. And are you okay? She's scratching. Anyway, which she normally doesn't do. So I don't know why she's doing that. But it is encouraging to see your progress, to keep going. Absolutely discouraging when you have challenges involved. But I'm going to be on here in some form every day, encouraging you on. I think that we could do a once a week live so we can kind of check in, see how things are going, reset, and kind of regroup ourselves to see how things are going, and not necessarily like start again, but sometimes with our goals, when we do that kind of check in, it revamps us and gets us kind of reset to keep going. So I want to say a few things before I tell you kind of what I'm working on, which I haven't really mentioned on here yet. But so first thing that you're going to do, I came out with a video yesterday and talked a little bit about this, but of course we need a goal. We're going to pick a goal, and that can be anything pretty much that you can stick with for 30 days. And I'd like to say, goals that are like cleaning goals are really great, but like cleaning out your pantry, are you going to do that every day for 30 days? I don't know. I know I need to, but I'm not really talking about that sort of thing. Something that you can do and you're going to be proud of at the end of 30 days, that it's going to get you somewhere. It's going to get you to where you can see your progress and you're taking measurable steps. So I'll give you an example pretty soon of what I'm going to be doing that might help you kind of decide, because I don't know about you, but I have a ton of goals, a ton of them out there. And I was even kind of wondering, like, which one am I going to choose for this challenge? So the other two things I want to say, we have our goal. And I'd like you, before you get started with this, is to choose a time of the day that you can sit down and do this. And it can be 10 minutes a day, it can be an hour a day, whatever you can do to where you can stick to it, number one. And number two, where you're not going to get burned out. So if you had 3 hours a day, maybe you're the type of person who can do that. I somewhat am if I actually have 3 hours a day, but I usually don't. So that doesn't really pertain to me. But if you even have 10 minutes a day, find that magic moment, kind of, or what I'm calling kind of a dreamer's moment, because we're the Busy Dreamer channel. So we can have our dreamer's moment where we sit down or wherever you need to be. Violet just laid in my lap, and she normally does not do this. So this is really a special time. But if you can pick that time of day, mine sometimes, not all the time, my kids demand a lot of my time, and they're 14 and 11, and they still want to do everything with me. So I'm not going to complain about that because I love it. I love their time. I love that they still depend on mom. And because I feel like, if you're a parent, you'll understand this statement. I feel like I am the best influence for them rather than Instagram or friends, even though they do have really good friends. So that's not what I'm saying. But so we have a goal, we have a time. And then the third thing before we get started is are you kidding me? I'm not a scratching post. Is to pick a place that is kind of goes along with your goal, right? So when I was writing my books, I haven't written my books in a little while, but I am planning on going back to that. That's not going to be one of my goals, but there are a lot of challenges out there writing a novel in 30 days. So if that is something that you're going to do, I'm here for you. I'm going to encourage you to make as much progress as you can that feels right for you. But when you're picking a place, obviously, if you're picking I'm writing a novel, you're going to pick a cozy spot with maybe the lighting that you want. Maybe you can light a candle. You can have your laptop or your screens there. Obviously, those are kind of things that go with that. Maybe your goal is exercise. So picking a cozy spot doesn't really make sense by the fireplace. Does not sound awful to work out by the fire. But maybe you have a little exercise spot. One note about the place. So this has been one of my hangups, is finding a place to do these YouTube videos. And that's something that I'm working on a little bit today, or going to tonight, because look behind me right here. It's a mess right here. This is my sewing machine and the sewing table. And I cleaned out a little area over here. But if you can get yourself set up in that area, because it will be easier for you to sit down and get started. So maybe your 30 days, 2 of those days is just getting yourself set up and ready to go. And I highly recommend you doing that, taking that time, even though you're like, well, I want to start writing a book and I need to start on chapter 1 on that day 1 of the challenge, of whatever challenge you're doing. Maybe getting that place set up for you is what you need in the beginning, in the I don't want to say forefront, in the beginning of that challenge. And that's one thing that I was saying I'm working on. And I've been going around my house. I might do a video about this trying to find the perfect kind of YouTube setup. It doesn't have to be perfect, but for me, it needs to be where I have my stand and I have my phone, because that's usually where I'm recording on. Right now, it's on my laptop, which the quality isn't as good as my phone, which is funny. But I want to be able to sit down, put my phone up, plug my mic in, and go. And that's it. I don't want to have to clean around me. I don't want to have to make sure the light is on, or, all of the setup is necessary. So I've been going around kind of to every corner or kind of every area in my house to try and figure out where I need to be. So I might kind of ask for your help with this and have a video of like my 5 places that I've been going around the house saying to myself, where can this be? Last night, I was trying to set up downstairs. And I was like, okay, the couch can go up where this couch is upstairs, and then that can go in the living room, and then the piano can go where the couch is, and then some desks can go where the piano was. And my husband and my daughter were like, that's going to look terrible. We're not doing that. And I was like, oh, that's a bummer. So I'm still trying. I'm still trying with that. So I hope that you have fun with this. One thing I want to say is it doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing. So if you choose a goal, and we're doing this for 30 days, I'm going to come on here and encourage you to stick with it every day, even if it's just the 10 minutes. But if you miss a day, it's not the end of the world. This isn't like a 75 hard thing where you're going to have to start over. You miss a day, it's okay. Start the next day, pick up where you are and keep going, because you have that day, you have the next day and the next day with, God willing that we're still here. And I know I worked with this woman one time, and she was always wanting to start a diet. I mean, how many of us are like that? Monday morning, we're going to start a diet. And it was Friday afternoon or Friday morning. And we were in a meeting, and she had, the bowl of chocolates in the middle, and she was just eating one after the other, and which is fine. Like, I'm not judging at all. And she said, well, I'm going out to dinner tonight anyway, so why not? Why should I have to adhere to anything right now? And that is fine. If you want to have, treat days, that's fine. But I'm saying that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. And you can kind of, even if you go off one day or half of a day, you can still be good the other half of the day. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. I might do kind of a health video, because I am into all of that, and that is one of my goals. But maybe I went on a tangent there. So I want to talk about a little bit about my goals and what I'm working on, because I haven't really said what I'm working on right now. And I know if you've been around here for a while, you know that I'm a women's fiction writer, and I have 3 books out there right now. It's a series that's connected by a town called Garden Valley. And I haven't been working on that for about a year now, I'd say. Maybe not quite a year yet, but I have so many ideas for that, but I only have a little bit of time. Like, when I say 10 minutes a day, sometimes that's all I have. Sometimes I have an hour or 2, but usually it's like 10 minutes when my kids are taking a shower. So where was I going with that? That's not what I'm working on right now. I'm not working on my writing. Earlier this year, I came out with, or I designed a planner. So it was for YouTubers. It was called My Video Planner. And I was going to come out with that in 2026. And I pulled that dream. I pulled that kind of, that goal that I had. I came out with it. Actually, hang on. I do have one of them here, and I wasn't going to come out with the spiral version. I was going to come out with the permabound, like the book kind of version, but this was it. And it had, these nice tabs, and it had calendars. That's one reason why I didn't like this version, because I can't close it like this. So maybe it's because it is kind of a big notebook, but I designed like these video cards. This was kind of my big idea for this, because with YouTube, if you have a YouTube channel, you'll totally understand this, that you sometimes just get bombarded with ideas for videos. And that was happening to me. And I had a note everywhere in the house and on my planner and in my car and everything. I was like, it would be great to have a planner that I could keep all of these in one place and write everything down in one place. So I started to come out with that and I pulled it. I got kind of scared. I'm going to be honest. I got a little scared and I pulled that project. So I in that project, however, I took a course called Print School with Polly Payne. It was an absolute awesome program. I loved that course. She does a weekly call, and she walks you through everything, start from finish, how to build a planner and get it printed and advertise it and everything. And after it's out, all like tons of videos on going through that. So I learned how to do that whole process of building a planner and coming out with it. And I right now am working on another planner. I know that sounds kind of funny. That's my big thing that I'm working on right now. I've been working on it for a couple of months. I cannot figure out. There we go. I typically lean to the left, and I'm trying not to do that, but it's opposite. So I'm sorry if I'm doing that. But anyway, I'm making another planner right now, and I'm going to kind of take you through some of this process, some of like the mental challenges, like the physical challenges and the ups also. I really what I've found in making the video planner is that I thoroughly enjoy making planners. I like using planners too, so it's kind of like paper, I'm an author, so I like paper, and pen and paper are kind of my thing. And I know there are a lot of people saying so. So I'm building a planner right now, and I have already gotten it to the point of doing like a mock-up of it. I have my 200 pages built out and ready to be designed. And with my video planner, I designed it and I felt pretty good about that. It was kind of a simple planner, but I liked that. I liked the pages because there's needs to be a lot of places to write in there. But with this planner that I'm building, I'm sending it to a designer. I have a company that I've passed it off to, and they are planning it for me. So that's kind of my big reveal. But around that, I have other goals that support that planner process. So I have my YouTube that I'm trying to build this community and touch base with everybody. And then I have some other things around building a community. I've thought about doing a podcast. I'm not sure yet. I might just stick with YouTube. For now, I might add the podcast thing later on. But then, in order for all of this to work, I know I've talked about this before. And if you've been on this channel, you're going to want to reach through your phone or wherever you're watching and smack me because I have not done it yet, and that is set up my Shopify store. And I've been trying for a long time. It's out there. It's if you go on it, it'll probably say the page is being built right now. And I've dabbled in it. It was almost ready to go. I had pictures on it. I had it all set up. So it's not like I'm like completely incompetent with Shopify, just maybe halfway incompetent. And that is what I'm going to be working on these next 30 days because I have passed my planner off to the designer. So that part has been taken off of my plate. And I feel like I have some time to spend on YouTube and to spend on Shopify. So the first thing is that's my goal is to spend every one of these 30 days, even if it is 15 minutes. That's kind of hard on Shopify because you kind of need to get into it a little bit, but that's what it is for me. I've picked the goal and I've kind of picked my time, and I'm going to try that time at night, 20 minutes. 20 minutes would be better than 10. So, and then the place is in, I have places around the house that I can work on it. The fourth thing is how am I going to do it? And how are you going to do it? What's your first step going to be? And one of the things that I'm doing in order to kind of ensure my success for this is take a little course on it. I found a course on Udemy that is a Shopify for beginners. It's kind of short, and they were having a sale. It was like $10 or something. So I went ahead and signed up for that. And I know for me, when I do any course, even if it's $10 and it walks you through step by step, I am almost 100% compliant. If I have to do it myself, I can do it also. I am pretty driven that way. But if I'm taking a course, it keeps me more locked in. So I kind of want to ask you, like, whatever your goal is going to be, can you add something that will help pace you and that maybe you can go to if you have questions? Um, I know there's so many resources out there everywhere, but those are kind of my tips right now. That's where I am with this. And I'd really like to know what you're working on, what you're thinking of for this challenge. Like I said, you don't have to adhere to it every day. This is just to kind of encourage you. If you show up day after day, the chances of showing up the next day are so much greater if you're just kind of locked in there and you have that commitment. The other thing about that is once you start seeing progress, you're going to want to stay with it. And you're not going to see progress unless you're showing up day after day. So I hope you join me in this and I hope you stick with it. The other thing is, you'll probably notice I'm probably going to start it tomorrow and just start coming at you with videos and some tips like this a lot shorter. I'm probably going to just do some shorts, but you'll notice I'm starting it on a Saturday on October 11th. So I'm not starting at the beginning of the quarter. I'm not starting at the beginning of the month or on a Monday. It doesn't matter when you start. I know that it's encouraging sometimes if you do those things, start on January 1st or start on your birthday or whatever, or on the quarter. And it is for me too. That motivates me as well. But sometimes I have an idea for something. And like this morning, I still didn't know what my goal was going to be that I chose for this challenge. And I went for a swim and I thought through it and I thought, you know what? The big thing that I need right now is for this Shopify to be out there. So that's my challenge. That's kind of the hurdle that I need in order for this whole plan to work for me. And I do have like this busy dreamer business plan that I have, but it's all contingent on Shopify and getting that kind of heavy challenge out of the whole system, not out of the way, but like becoming more of an expert in it is going to, what I feel like, make it like that much easier for things. And I just see somebody made a comment, and I'm sorry I didn't see it until now. And their name is Glitter and Duct Tape. And I absolutely love that. I love it. Glitter and Duct Tape. She's going to meditate for 30 days. And that's awesome. Pick a little place that is quiet and you can have to yourself. That's something that I've tried before. And I kind of not like fail. I don't like to kind of punish myself or want you to do that either, but I fall off of that one. So thank you for that reminder. That's great. But I hope that you stick with it with me and come back every day and check in. Let me know what else you're working on. It can be anything that is close to you that's going to propel you forward. But it's going to be a fun challenge. I'm not trying to make this a stressful challenge, and we're showing up for ourselves. And I have a lot to say about that. I'm not going to on here. It's getting a little bit long, but thank you for joining me today. And if you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments what you're going to work on. And I will see you in the next video, which there's going to be a lot of videos coming out. So I hope you find this encouraging. That really is my goal with this whole channel and with this challenge. It's about going for our goals and our dreams, even though we are busy. So I hope you show up for the next one. I know I will. I'll be here for you. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.